In this video, I'll show you how to get started using text to columns in LibreOffice Calc. Hi, my name is Michael with Office Nifty. I make quick tips and tutorials on how to use Calc software. So to demonstrate, I'll head over to my second sheet. And here is just a simple list of the names of United States presidents. Oftentimes you might have some sort of data from an email or some other source and you just want to copy and paste it into your spreadsheet. In this scenario, each cell has a name, but it's also prefixed with the label of name in it. So to begin, I'll select all the values in this column first. I'll just hold down the Shift key on the keyboard and left click at the very last cell. Now we can go to Data in the menu and choose Text to Columns. Now the dialog appears and we're able to choose from a set of options. The first thing I'll talk about is we could either do fixed width or separated by. So I'll go ahead and start trying with the fixed width. So down here we can see there's a red pin, and this designates where we want to put the split to occur. Here I can click and drag it over, and I'm putting it right before the start of the name so that Calc can put this into two separate columns. So now I'll hit OK and see what happens. So that's good. The first column is basically just a label of name, and I don't really need this. Now I want to focus on how do I split column B furthermore so I get the first and last names. So I'll continue on by selecting column B and go back to text to columns. This time around, I'll try using separated by. And here I have a lot of options regarding the delimiter. Now, delimiter is basically some sort of symbol or spacing that we tell it to use in order to split into different columns. So what's important is the names are separated by space, so I'll make sure to click on space. Now it gives me a preview down here where it would split John Quincy Adams into 3 different columns. And that seems pretty good to me and what my goal is. For you, you might want to try different options in deselecting or selecting various things. Sometimes in a person's name, they might have a period, such as Mr. or Ms. in their title. So you can type in a specific delimiter that you want to use. Now the merge delimiters options, the tooltip kind of explains what it does, which is if there are multiple delimiters next to each other, it just treats it as one, but it'll remove the delimiters when putting into separate columns. So I'll go ahead and choose OK. So there we go. The first and last name are definitely split, and so is the middle initial or the middle name. Now if I wanted to set these columns into something more uniform, I could set the header like this: first name, middle, and last name. Now oftentimes after doing text columns, we run into this problem where it successfully separated the data for us, but it's not neatly into the columns that we prefer. For example, some of the last names are here in column C, but I actually prefer it to be in column D. This is just a matter of trying to move over the text manually, either through copy and paste or otherwise, so that the text ends up in the correct columns. So a quick way that I would do this is I'm going to create a new column to just preserve the ordering of these names. And the reason that is important is because I know it's already ordered by sequence or years of when the president were inaugurated. But in your data, maybe the order doesn't matter so much. Then you don't need to worry about creating a new column of numbers. And maybe I'll just label this as the order or index. Then an easy way, I want to sort by the last name so that the empty ones show up either on the top or on the end. So I'll select my table of cells and then sort. Here I'll sort by the last name. Okay, since it was in ascending order, the empty cells show up at the end. And now I can easily just copy and paste over these values, which I know are last names, over to column D. Here I'll just select the range of cells and then cut and paste. And yet another issue with data quality is sometimes a person's last name actually has 2 words in it. In the case of Martin Van Buren, Van is not the middle name, so I actually have to manually type it into the last name on my own and then delete Van from the middle name. Now my data is looking good. I'll go back to sort again, and this time I'll make sure to sort by column E so everything is back into order. Okay, so now I'm done doing my text to columns, and I could continue to clean up my sheet here by deleting this column. I don't really need it, or if I wanted to preserve it, I could put it in the first column. I'll try that. And then I can format the header row by just making the font bold and centering it. I'll auto resize column A, and that looks a little bit better. So that's it for today's quick tip. Go ahead and try this on your own and see if it works out well for you. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. If you found this video helpful, I recommend you to watch my other video about how to freeze top rows or columns in LibreOffice Calc. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay nifty.